Hi, this is Annie here with Century 21 Wright and Associates. I wanted to reach out to everyone and talk a little bit about how um, the news with the coronavirus is affecting the real estate market here in Portland. I know that it's been all over the news nationally, and a lot of people are kind of figuring out what their lives are looking like and what the new normal is starting to look like with school closures and travel cancellations and everything. And I've been getting a lot of questions from current clients of how is this going to impact either my search for a home or my need to sell a house. And so I wanted to take some time and give you some information that I am sharing with all of my current clients, and talking a little bit about how we are approaching things here, specifically in Portland. I want to preface this with that I hope this video finds everyone that you guys are healthy and safe, and that if you are struggling, if you're needing to do self-quarantine and can't do normal errands, if you're concerned about childcare or school lunches, or are starting to worry about your hours being cut and the financial impact that this virus might have on you and your family, please reach out to me. I have a list of local organizations that are helping out throughout the Portland Metro and really making sure that families and individuals are safe and healthy as much as we can allow that. So please note that this video is not just about the real estate market, but I really want to be able to help as much as I can as people are working through the changes. And I think that I'm hoping that this video also helps share some information from a local professional who's seen the impacts on our real estate market and helping people make decisions that make sense for their lives. So the first thing that I have kind of been noticing this week is I've been getting calls from people who were thinking about purchasing their first home and are currently renting. And they're wondering whether or not they should even start this process. And what I want to say is that I think that this is still a really, really great time to start that process into home ownership. The National Association of Realtors has shown on average homeowners have a net worth or net wealth 40 to 41 times greater than renters. The long-term impacts of owning a home are huge and can really make differences in people's lives. And so I think even with all of this fear that's going around and as people are kind of figuring out their lives, that if this was something that was on your 2020 goal list to stop renting and to buy a home, it's still worth starting that process. Vacancy rates for rentals in the Portland Metro are kind of between 2 and 3% right now. And so it's still gonna be really hard to find rentals. I'm helping a lot of families get into homes and their monthly mortgage payments are about what they're paying monthly in rent, and it's really helping a lot of people stabilize their lives. So I would encourage you that if that was something that was on your list, to really start looking into it and start looking into it now. And the biggest reason for that is because what you've been seeing the past month on the news is that interest rates are at all-time historic lows, which was true. And that was letting a lot of people really start to feel like they could afford a home. As things are coming out, and you've seen the stock market, having very volatile levels, that is having indirect impacts on mortgage interest rates. And so some of those rates that were being quoted as historic lows are no longer available, but it's changing by the day. And so it's something that if this is a goal that you have, starting the process, making sure you understand what it's going to take to become a homeowner is really something that should start now so that you're feeling ready and prepared when you are ready to take those next steps. The next piece that I'm getting a lot of phone calls about are clients that I'm currently working with who are searching for a house, and then they have already gotten pre-approved and we are writing offers on houses, and they're wanting to know what steps they should be taking and how we should be doing this together. And for those people, what our discussion has been is if they feel healthy and safe enough to continue to look at homes. If they're not, I am happy to do virtual tours. I do it a lot with out-of-state buyers anyway. And so it's something that I am working with local clients now too, where I'm still going out and looking at homes personally, but if they feel like they need to self-quarantine, we can do video chats and I can have them virtually see the house. If kids are staying home from school and timing is becoming an issue and they can't quite see houses as easily, we're having discussions. I'm happy to schedule showings earlier in the day, later in the evening, depending on the seller's availability. And so we're kind of working around that. The other piece that I'm talking to clients who have been pre-approved about is whether or not they had previously locked their interest rates. Like I mentioned before, these rates are changing pretty rapidly. And so as we find houses that they like and they want to put offers on, I want to make sure that they've had an honest discussion with their loan officer of what the estimated monthly costs are going to be and making sure that this is still affordable homes for them. And so I would encourage anyone who's out looking at houses right now, if you haven't locked your rate yet, talk to your loan officer ASAP and create a plan for the next few weeks. The other thing that we are having conversations with is about inventory levels. The Portland Association of Realtors just put out their most recent stats for the past month, and we are seeing below 2-month inventory levels right now, which is historically low, and it's been something that's been plaguing our Portland market for a while now, but it's especially tight this year. And so what that means is that buyers are still out. If they've already locked their rates, they're ready to go, they're ready to find houses. And pretty much every single house that I'm writing offers on, it's a multiple offer situation, and we're going well above asking price, and sometimes waiving appraisal contingencies, talking about shortening inspection periods. And so it is still very competitive. And so if you're out there right now looking for a house, what I'm asking everyone to do is have patience. Typically we see inventory levels go up in April and May, and I don't see that happening. I think a lot of sellers are wondering whether or not they want to put their house on the market. They're having conversations whether it makes sense to have strangers in their houses right now, and I think that's a legitimate conversation. So what I'm advising all of my buyers who are currently looking is to know that it's going to be a longer search. So if you're coming up at the end of your current contract for your rent, for your lease, for your rental, discuss that with your landlord, see if there's a way to potentially go to month or extend that, and know that it's going to take a little bit longer to find a house right now. And so that kind of brings me to my final piece, talking to people who have reached out about wanting to sell their house this year. And I think that's where kind of one of the biggest questions has come up is, does this make sense? I think from an equity standpoint, and if you're looking to get the most money for the sale of your home, now is a really great time to put your house on the market. Like I said, inventory levels are at historic lows. I have been writing offers with 10 plus offers on the table, and that's every single weekend. So that being said, though, it is a serious conversation of whether it makes sense for your specific situation on putting the house on the market. You know yourself best. You know whether you are going to be in contact with elderly family members, whether it makes sense to have people in and out of your house right now. And for a lot of people, it doesn't. It does make sense to postpone putting your house on the market. That being said, there are people that need to sell their house, and they need to sell their house during this time frame. And so I am creating kind of a plan internally of what that looks like for my business and how I can help sellers still be able to sell their house, even as we are learning more and more about this coronavirus and as it's starting to kind of impact our lives here. And so some suggestions that I have for sellers is that if you are feeling like now is not the right time to put the house on the market, but you know you want to get it on the market before 2021, is we can have a video conference call or a telephone call and start to talk about the steps that you should be taking to get your house ready for the market. Because no matter what the market conditions are, you know, the houses that are clean, decluttered, updated are going to sell faster and for a higher price than houses that don't have those steps. So now might be a good time to do some more deep cleaning, to start doing decluttering, to start making a plan of attack so that when you do feel safe to put your house on the market, it is ready. The other piece that I think is something that a lot of realtors are starting to lean into a lot more is a lot more digital marketing, making sure that we do virtual tours of the houses that are available online, and that, you know, maybe we're doing more private showings and fewer open houses, updating our cleaning protocols between those showings. And so making sure that buyers can kind of see the house and learn as much information as they can online, and that they don't physically have to go to the house unless they are seriously interested in the house. And then we're making sure that the house stays clean in between each of those showings. And then the final piece would be, you know, if it makes sense that, you know, you do need to move and that you get settled into your new house, and then we put your house on the market as a vacant listing, so that you don't have to worry about people going through your own home. And I do have lenders that can help with some of that bridge financing as you sell your old home and get established into your new house. And so all of that being said, I hope this gives some actionable tips and helps people understand kind of how this is impacting the real estate market, specifically as people kind of figure out how it's impacting the rest of their lives. And I just want to again reiterate that I am here as a resource and here to kind of help talk people through what makes sense for their situation, and making sure that we really are helping each other as we kind of go through this new and novel disease, and as it's really kind of taking its toll here in the US. Thank you so much. I know this was a little bit of a longer video, but I really wanted to make sure that I kind of went into some depth to give people some real advice. Thank you. Bye.